A deal on the nation's borrowing limit could be close.
But time's running out before the first default in U.S. history could happen. CBS News reports the deal under discussion would cap overall federal spending levels for the next couple of years, 2 years. Military and veterans funding would slightly increase while domestic spending would dip slightly or remain flat. Political specialist Sean Boyd looks at the deadline and the political wrestling match.
The Treasury has warned it could run out of cash as early as next Thursday, right before $25 billion in Social Security checks are set to go out. And a deal is just step one. The House gets 72 hours to read a bill before any vote. Then it needs to go to the Senate. I spoke with Colorado congressional members on both sides of the aisle about what's at stake.
As a country, we've got to suck it up and we've got to make sure that we do the right thing and reduce our federal spending.
Congressman Ken Buck has never voted to raise the debt ceiling, saying both Democrats and Republicans' plans amount to bipartisan bankruptcy. He says the country needs to stop out-of-control spending before it's too late.
If we pass an irresponsible bill in the next week, we will be putting off the default for a period of time, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years. But the United States will default on its debt. We've got to address the spending issue at some point. We might as well do it now.
Congressman Jason Crow agrees the country needs to rein in spending, but says it also needs to pay the bills.
But you don't get your house in order by burning down the house, because then there's no house left, right? If you're going to destroy and blow up the economy, and hundreds of thousands of people are going to lose their jobs, businesses are going to close, drastic cuts to veterans' health care. That's no way to do this.
While the brinksmanship highlights Congress dysfunction, first-year Congresswoman Brittany Petterson is part of a bipartisan caucus that's come up with its own debt ceiling proposal.
The process that we have laid out is really just trying to give us the time and the space and the third-party evaluation recommendations to look at this thoughtfully and come back with a plan after the next election.
Buck says the only way he'll vote to increase the debt is if spending is cut to pre-COVID levels. He says Congress should also start scaling back funding of state functions like education.
The federal government can't keep throwing money at every problem that's out there.
In a sign of how much pressure Congress is under, the credit agency Fitch has already put the U.S. credit rating on a downgrade watch list. Sean Boyd covering Colorado First.